Hey y'all. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, y'all. Wait a minute for y'all to come in. We're doing Renewal of the Mind Part 3. This is about mindsets. I'm Taylor Chandler, licensed marriage and family therapist and coach. I'm helping you with personal and relational development. We're in the last part of the Renewal of the Mind series. We're talking about mindset today. I'm going to pin the comment and I'm going to let y'all come in. Hi, I see the hundreds. I love the little emojis and the hearts. That does a lot for me. So we're off to a good start already. This is a good energy day. It's a good energy day, and I'm really excited to bring this episode to you. Y'all, this episode isn't going to stay on Instagram. It will be on YouTube. If you're not following me, the hearts are still coming in. I love it. The energy is there. But it's not going to stay on Instagram, but it will be on YouTube. It's on Apple, Spotify, y'all. If you are not subscribed to the content in those places, please do. And like the content, share it with somebody. Share it with somebody that could use it. And I tend to think that we all could use it. Hey, Ronita, good morning. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, y'all. I'm excited. We're talking about mindset today. This is a big deal. This is a big deal. All right, somebody let me know how you're doing and we'll get started. The hearts are coming. Like there's something about today. Come on, somebody catch it. There is something about today, and it is good. It is good. Happy Friday. Somebody tell me how you're doing, and then we will get started. Oh, thank you. Nobody, okay. I like the compliments, but anybody good? Anybody feeling good? Anybody feeling great? Anybody feeling not so great? Sometimes when somebody asks you, I'm gonna do the therapist thing. Sometimes when someone asks you how you're doing and you feel pressure to say you're good, sometimes you're not good. And you know what? It's okay. That's okay to say that. Let me be a therapist for a second. That's okay. That's okay. You don't always have to match the energy of the person in front of you. Someone needed to hear that. Okay. You don't have to match the energy. Someone comes to you, they're great. You're not great. Anyway, all right. That's not the point of this podcast episode. You're doing amazing. That's good. That's good. I like that. Quick note, some of you are listening to this kind of content, whether it's with me or someone else. It's this type of content, personal relational development, and you feel like the black sheep. I'm going to say this for somebody, then we'll get into it. Okay. And you feel like if you share it with somebody, they're going to think it's weird or they're going to respond poorly. Well, they might think you're crazy, even arrogant. Well, I just want to tell somebody, step out, okay? Don't let people hold you back. Some of you need to try sending this kind of stuff to someone, whether it's my content or someone else's that's in this kind of lane. Some of you need to try sending this to someone to see how they respond to you. Okay, you might be surprised to hear that they're excited about it and they want to talk. They want someone to talk about it with. You might find that you might get signals that they don't like this part of you. I want to talk to somebody just for a second. I got just let me say this one part and then we'll get into it. Okay, you might get signals that they don't like this part of you. Hear me. That is very important information. Listen, I think anything in reality, anything that's true is good information. It might not be feel positive. You might not feel positive. You might not feel good about it, but I think anything that is true is good information. Somebody catch it. Okay. So you might send this kind of stuff or talk about this kind of stuff with someone, and they might think you're crazy, you're weird, or they don't like this part of you. That's very important information. And I want to tell you, don't let people hold you back. And remember, you're the one giving them the reins to do it. Somebody catch it. I feel like we're not even in the content, but I just needed to say this to somebody today. Take over the direction of your life. If you are being called up, hear me, you have to decide to answer that call up. I want you to catch this today. I want somebody to catch this today, so I have to say it. You never get dragged up. You have to choose to go up. You have to exert your will to go up, but you can always be dragged down. That's it. That's all I wanted to say about that. That's all I want to say. But you aren't going to get dragged up. You have to choose willfully to go up, but you can always get dragged down. That's law. Okay. All right. I'm going to leave it. Okay. That's it. That's it. Let's get into the episode, y'all. It's Renewal of the Mind Part 3, Mindset. First, definitions. Okay, you know me, we have to make sure we're talking about the same thing, because sometimes we use language and it doesn't always, sometimes you saying one thing, but a person on the other side, you're not talking about the same thing, using the same word, not talking about the same thing. So many different rabbit holes I could go down, y'all. But first, definitions to make sure we're talking about the same thing. Mindset. Mindset is an established set of attitudes held by someone, an established set of attitudes held by someone. And let me tell you what attitude is. Attitude, a settled way of thinking or feeling about someone or something, typically one that is reflected in a person's behavior. I've been talking about attitude for years, 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 years. Okay. I won't stop. I will not stop talking about y'all's attitude. I will not stop looking at my own attitude. I will not stop because it's so important. Attitude, a settled way of thinking or feeling about someone or something, typically one that is reflected in a person's behavior. Okay, your mindset, your attitude, I can't stress how important this is. This is your orientation that you take to the world. This is your posture. Your mindset informs how you show up, how you relate to the world around you, how you approach problems, how you approach relationships and conflict. I'm telling you, how you think about anything is rooted in your mindset. This is so important. I cannot stress it enough. How you think about anything is rooted in your mindset. So, in my lane, right, we're talking about personal and self development, and the goal is to be your best self. The goal is to have the best relationships. That's what we do. Okay, that's what I do. That's what I help people to do. That's what we do. And so your mindset is of the utmost importance because you can want a thing. Everybody wants some. Everybody wants the thing. But I can't stress enough. Okay, that's what a lot of this series is about, right? Like you can want a thing, you can have something in mind, but if you're not thinking in a way that facilitates the obtaining of the thing, my goodness, if you have to think in a way that facilitates the getting of the thing. You can't just think about the thing. You have to think in a way that facilitates the obtaining of the thing. I just, so your mindset is incredibly important. Your attitudes are incredibly important. Hear me. Somebody write this down for yourself. And I like it when you drop it in the comments. Okay. I like it when you drop it in a little comments, a little chat. Okay. So if you feel compelled, please do it. Hear me. You can't rise higher than the level of your mindset because everything is anchored in it. You're anchored to your mindset. So wherever your limit is in your mind, everything comes from the mind. So everything is anchored in it. So you could even have a jolt, hear me, a jolt of inspiration, a jolt of a vision. You could have a dream, but you don't sustain what it takes to obtain it because your mindset is limited. So you can have a jolt of inspiration, a jolt of excitement. You could have an idea and some sense of urgency about a thing, but your mindset is what you're anchored in. So you could have a great idea, but if you have an average mindset, come on, do I need to finish the sentence? You can have, oh my goodness, you can have a great idea. You can have a great idea of who you want to marry. You can have a great idea of how you want to live, but you are anchored to your mindset. My goodness. You can't rise higher than the level of your mindset because everything is anchored in it. It's very important. You accept this as a principle. Why? Because it's true. Okay. And wherever you deny the truth, you delay yourself. You are not in reality. So this is the principle. Somebody write it in the chat. Somebody write it in the chat. I rise to the level of my mindset. And we could invert that. I fall to the level of my mindset. Because everybody falls, but some of us fall. Some people fall. I'm not going to say some fall a little bit lower than others, okay? Because your mindset is everything is anchored in your mindset. I rise to the level of my mindset. I fall to the level of my mindset. That is my baseline. So that's why some people can bounce back in a different kind of way because their mindset won't allow them to drop so low. Come on. Nobody gets everything right. Nobody's going without mistakes and missteps. But so, thank you, Khadijah. You got it. Come on, 2026. Everybody has missteps. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody gets a little off some kind of way, but everybody does not drop to the bottom. Okay, when that happens, some of us, and some are developing a mindset that won't even allow you to get down that low. in your thinking, which then is reflected in your way of being. This is good already, y'all. Does any y'all feel this is good already? Come on. So I want to give you a sub principle here. I rise to the level of my mindset. I fall to the level of my mindset. Sub principle. Mindset comes first. Come on, come here, come here. Mindset comes first. Manifestation comes second. Now, wait, don't be afraid of the word manifest. Don't be afraid of the word manifest. Now, I get I get the arguments. I know. Don't be afraid of the word manifest. The definition of manifest a clear is clear or obvious to the mind or eye. My gosh. The definition of manifest is clear or obvious to the eye or mind. Another definition of manifest is demonstration or presentation. This is good. Somebody needs to free themselves from denying the word manifest, because it's important to understand manifest, demonstration, the presentation, when something becomes clear or obvious to the eye or mind, when it comes into fruition, when something becomes material and you can see it in the world. Like the word manifesto. Thank you. The word manifesto, for example, it's like a list of, it's like a declaration of policies that a policymaker wants to see come into the world, wants to see made tangible. I want to see these policies, I want to see what I've written manifest into the world. It's a manifesto. It's a declaration of what I want to see come into life. My goodness. So some of y'all need to be stop being afraid of the word manifest. Anyway, we're clear, y'all. We're clear, right? We will, everyone will, because principles apply to everyone. It's a matter of how much you're going to, willfully accept, acknowledge, and work that principle. But the principle is what it is. All right. So here's the principle: you will rise to the level of your mindset. So it's very important to maximize your mindset. Somebody write it in the chat. Maximize your mindset. Maximize your mindset. This is good, y'all. This is good. I know it. I know it. This first, first you need to be aware of what mindset is. We did that. Next, you need to read your own mindset. And I have to say, and a lot of y'all, people have been here for a while. You've heard me say this before. A lot of people should not trust their own assessments of themselves. A lot of people shouldn't assess. There's this idea that people always claim that they are more self-aware than they actually are. Why? Because of blind spots that people have. We have blind spots. So people will assess themselves as being more self-aware, more emotionally intelligent, more socially intelligent, more this, more that than they really are because of the blind spots. So I don't think I think you should get checked out. Of course I think that. I'm a therapist and I'm a coach. I think you should get checked out. I've been checked out. I like getting checked out. Somebody need to come and check my work. Okay. How am I thinking? How am I feeling? What am I? Anyway, point being, I don't think I'm going to give you some ways to assess yourself, and I wouldn't stop at your own self-assessments, okay? Because we all have blind spots. Okay. Okay, so you need to be aware of mindset is, we did that. You need to be able to read your own mindset, which I think you need to help. I think you should get some help. Okay. And think in maximizing your mindset, I think, because, and this is what I do, I think you should get with people who know how to do it. Just like if you have a leak in your roof, I'm not a roofer. Why am I about to climb up there? Just because I can doesn't mean I should. Okay, just because I could get up there and try to fix my roof, that's not my specialty. I'm not a roofer. I don't know how to do that. Okay, so when it comes to like maximizing your mindset, when it comes to maximizing your personal and relational development, then I think you should get with someone who does it the best. Okay. Some of us gotta stop relying. Some of you gotta stop relying on yourself to do everything. You're not a specialist in everything. All right, I'm gonna not go down that rabbit hole. Let's go. Um, so you need to be able to read your own mindset. It's not enough to say. It is not enough to say, I have a high quality mindset. It's not enough to say that. Like I said, a lot of people won't say that. A lot of people say a lot of things that just are not true about themselves. It's not enough to say I have a high quality mindset. You have to actually have it. I'm going to outline major aspects of mindset in a very simple way. Okay. I'm going to talk about it in a binary way, meaning I'm going to split this into two categories. Thank you. Bye. I'm going to split this into two categories. Okay. Uh, I'm going to take these aspects, separate them into two categories. One category is positive and one category is negative. My argument is that when you have more positives than negatives, your life will be more positive. Very simple, very simple. When you have more positive aspects of mindset, because, okay, when you have more positive aspects, your life becomes more positive. When it's more negative, your life is more negative. That's it. When you maximize the positive aspects, it just gets better. It compounds. There's something that's coming to my mind right now. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to say it. I want you to understand this as a principle. I'm not going to go down a rabbit hole with this, but I want you to understand this as a principle. When you have good, when you have positive, it compounds to more positive. When your mindset and your when you have more positive aspects of mindset, it your quality of life goes up and it only gets better. When you have more negatives, your life only gets worse. Okay, it compounds in both directions. So whatever direction, if you're going if you have more positive, you're going to get more of that. If you have more negative, you're going to get more of that. It's a simple principle. You have to understand that. What's going to get better? What's going to get better? Literally everything. When you have more positive aspects of mindset, what will get better? Everything. All the big areas: health, wealth, love. It all gets better. I help you, but I'm not doing all of that. Okay, not yet, not now. Okay. I help you develop right now. I help you develop personally and relationally. That's my lane. So when you maximize your mindset in this area, here's what you can expect. You're more trustworthy because you're more consistent and reliable. You're more likable. Okay. You feel better. So others feel better around you, for example. Okay. Some of you, I don't know who I'm talking to, but some of you are very intelligent and you got all the right ideas, but you're not likable. And you wonder why people don't want to be around you because you got all the right ideas and you hear people talking on podcasts and you're like, I say that, I think that, I've been thinking that, I've been saying this for years, nobody wants to listen to me, nobody cares what I say, because you're not likable. You're more trustworthy, you're more likable. Energy is more potent when you have more positive, when you have a more positive mindset, when you have the what I would call right mindset, your energy is more potent. This doesn't mean higher energy necessarily, as in like high strung energy. No, this does mean higher quality energy. You're more responsible, you're more together, you're self led, which is attractive and safe for others to be around. The list really goes on. The rewards of a positive, of the right mindset are truly, I think, just infinite. I mean, any area gets better and then it just compounds on top. It just gets deeper and higher when the better your mindset is. Okay. I think that's, anyway, I'm not going to go down every rabbit hole I could. Does this make sense, y'all? I want to root us in the importance of this. We understand, so we know what mindset is now. We talked about the definition. We know why it's important here in this lane. Now let's get to the inner workings of mindset. I will call these things core aspects, core foundational things that make up mindset, because mindset is it's an intangible thing, it's an abstract thing, but it shows up in the outcomes of your life, it shows up materially. Okay. But mindset is this abstract and tangible thing. I want to give you something that you can get a grip on, that you can hold, that you can write down, that you can study, that you can understand. Okay. We're going to take these abstract things and we want to make them somewhat concrete so you can do something with it. Makes sense, y'all? Are y'all following? Your 5 core aspects in the comments. That's where we're at. Somebody writes that in the comments and then we'll go on. Thank you. You know, I'm calling response. You know, I like it. You know, I like the emoji. You know, I like the little hearts and the little 100s. That works for me. I have no shame. Give me a fire emoji. That works for me. Okay. If you're taking notes or later when you rewatch this, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Ronita. Thank you, Black Investors. Thank you, Lil Brown Island. Yeah. Okay. If you're taking notes or when you rewatch this, you just write a line, take a sheet of paper. Thank you, vibes. Take a sheet of paper, just draw a line right down the center, put a plus on one side, put a minus on the other side. Okay, that represents our positive and our negative. I'm highlighting 5 core aspects. So this is not an exhaustive list of all the things that could make up your mindset, but these are major ones. We're going to talk about what each one is. I'm going to give you questions to help to evaluate yourself, and I recommend you get another opinion. Don't just stop at your own assessment. Okay, this is also going to help you to evaluate others, but please don't take all your time judging and evaluating others. Okay, we got enough to do on ourselves. Somebody please receive that. Somebody please receive that. Let me do my job. Let me do my job. You do your job. Let me do my job. You do your job. Spending all this time judging people, evaluating people, taking all these, listening to all these podcasts and such, and you just and all you have on all you do. And some people, all they do is they're armoring themselves, gathering ammunition, stocking up so that they can go to war with you in conflict with all the with trying to get you, label you for all the things that you are and aren't. Some of y'all doing that. And you wonder how these people know so much about everybody else, but but when you hold up the mirror to themselves, they can't see. But they see everybody else. They looking at everybody else. Come on, man. Come on. Stop that. I'm not gonna get at you right today. I can't. I don't want to try this. Words broad just keep popping out. Stop that. Let's go. Number 1, growth versus fixed. Growth versus fixed. Number 2, open versus defensive. We're going to talk about all of these one by one. Okay. First, we got growth versus fixed, open versus defensive, responsible versus blaming, abundance versus scarcity, intentional versus conditioned. All right. We're going to start with growth versus fixed, y'all. First, I'll say this. I think everyone can intuitively see which one is better. Okay. I think you know which ones are better. I don't think I even, okay, I think you intuitively know that. You didn't need to tell me which ones were positive. The issue is not being able to tell which side is better. The point is being able to embody it. Everybody always knows the right answer to the test. That's why we got a bunch of geniuses in the comments every day. We got a bunch of geniuses that know everything about everything. Come on. You got the most self-aware people, allegedly. You got the most self-proclaimed, self-aware, highly developed people, all in comments and in real life, with outcomes that do not match the description that they would tell you about themselves. So the issue is not being able to tell which one is positive or which one's better, which side is better than the other. The issue is not being able to embody it. The point is not what's the best way to live. The point is being able to embody that higher quality way of living. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's interesting. There's this interesting paradox. It has to do with humility and growth. I just want to give this to you today. I just feel it today. There's this interesting paradox that the most humble are the most exalted. Come on, somebody. that those who can say, maybe I need to reconsider this. Maybe I need to look at myself. Maybe I don't have it all together. Those are the people who end up growing the most. Those are the people who sustain the growth. Those are the people who progress. It's the people who actually can say, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm not as self-aware as I thought. Maybe I have a blind spot here. Maybe I'm not fully maxed out in all of the things that I need to know about myself. Maybe I need some help with this. Maybe I need to re- review the tape. Maybe there's something for me to change, something for me to fix, something for me to tune up. It's those people that grow the most. It's those people that sustain their growth. It's those people that progress the most. It's the paradox of humility and growth. But when you think you know every damn thing, those are the people that end up falling, that end up stuck, that end up irritating everybody, honestly, because you're arrogant and you're blind. And that is a terrible combination. I just feel like I got to preach this today. When you are arrogant and blind, you think you know everything and nobody can tell you nothing. Nobody can tell you anything because you know everything already. Arrogant and blind. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about each aspect. Let's talk a little bit about each aspect, y'all. What it is and what it looks like in practice. So we got growth versus fixed, open versus defensive, responsible versus blaming, abundance versus scarcity, intentional versus conditioned. We'll talk about each aspect, what it is, what it looks like in practice. And when you practice something long enough, when you practice something long enough, when you practice something long enough, you embody it. You become it itself. When you practice something long enough, you become it. Like I've practiced fitness long enough. I've practiced working out long enough and thoroughly enough to the point where I embody fitness. Hear me. I want you to hear me because I want you to hear this for yourself. I want you to hear this. I've practiced for long enough and thoroughly enough. I've practiced fitness for long enough and thoroughly enough to where I embody fitness to the point where I don't have to tell somebody that I do fitness. They tell me. I want someone to hear this for themselves. I want you to hear what I am saying to you today. To the point where I do not have to tell somebody I do fitness. They tell me. They don't say, "Do you work out?" Is how many days do you work out? They say, did you play a sport? It's what sport did you play? They say, do you, you don't have to ask me if I value this because I embody it. So that's an example. When we practice something long enough and we practice it thoroughly enough, who is this for today? You embody it to the point where you don't have to, you're, who you are precedes your announcement. Oh my goodness, that's a word for somebody. That's a word for somebody right there. Somebody's going to catch it. Somebody's going to catch it. So the point, y'all, isn't just to know these things. The point is to embody these things. Okay. I keep messing with I think I need to just. I need. Let me do this real quick. Take a little break. I need to like do this. There's something going on with this sweatshirt. It's kind of bothering me. It's kind of bothering me. Taking a little bit of extra space here. Is this good? Listen, I think there's something about this episode that's really good. We're going to talk about what each aspect. Number one, growth versus fix. And you know what? This is where we need to humble ourselves because some of y'all, you read all the books but we need to. this me, I listen to this stuff like I've never heard it before in my life. When I listen to people who are better than me, doing better than me, who know more than me, and they're talking about a concept that I've heard before, I'm listening to, I need to listen to it like I've never heard about it in my life. Why? So that I can receive the new and fresh word that is coming through their message. I just, number one, growth versus fixed. A fixed mindset protects who you've been, even if it no longer fits, even when it no longer fits. A growth mindset participates in who you are becoming, even if it requires discomfort or changing your mind. Ask yourself, is change something I argue with or something I work with? When something isn't working, do I adapt or do I dig my heels in? Like, do I double down? Do I treat my patterns as permanent or pliable? Can they be changed, malleable? Can I adjust them? Do I believe growth is available to me or do I think it's reserved for others? Do I protect who I've always been or do I participate in evolving? A growth minded person is able to take in new information and adjust, while a fixed minded person defaults to their comfort zone, often rejects new information, and ultimately stays stuck. In relationship, the growth person moves with the moment, while the fixed person is stubborn and resistant to requests, adjustments, and feedback. Got it? I have to keep going because I have a thing now where I don't spend 2 hours on this thing. Ronita knows we would be in these things on workshops, on lives and stuff, 2 hours, 3 hours, all kinds of stuff. No, 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 no. We cannot do that now. Okay, we can't do that right now. We can't do that right now. So I'm gonna move on. Open versus defensive. Number two, open versus defensive. Can somebody drop it in the comments for your friends in the room? Okay. Open versus defensive. Bro, I need to know. We be on that thing. Okay, 3 hours. It's supposed to be a 90-minute workshop. We be on there 3 hours. That was like 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. There it is, Mac. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, when you participate, you get something. I got too many words today. When you participate, you get something that bystanders don't get in the same room, getting a different experience. Come on, somebody. In the same room, getting a different experience when you participate. Trust me when I say it's not really for me. I like the participate. I do like it. I like it. Trust me when I say it's not. Don't look at it for me. It's for you. Who am I need? Some I don't even know who I'm talking to right now, but somebody who is watching this right now or is going to watch this replay, somebody needs to break out of who you were in school, sitting in the back of the class, acting like you couldn't be bothered with the teaching. And somebody needs to break out of that. I don't know who. I don't know who this for. I'm gonna say it though. Somebody need to be free from appearing as the lazy student because it's not cool. You 35 years old, you 45 years old, you 50 years old, still acting like you can't be bothered to take a note. Okay, grow up. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know. You got to ask yourself if that was for you. I don't know. I don't know. Grow up. It's not cool to be nonchalant anymore. It's not cool to be nonchalant. Care. Okay. Okay. All right. Was that okay, y'all? Let's move on. Open versus defensive. Thank you for dropping it in the chat. Khadijah, I appreciate that. Oh, thank you. That's nice. I like to take little screenshots of comments that are nice. Reminds me of things. And I appreciate when y'all send me messages and stuff and leave really thoughtful comments, it's really does a lot for me, it really does. Open versus defensive, y'all. An open minded person receives new information even if it's uncomfortable. Sounds similar to a growth minded person, right? All the positives are going to sound like they go together. Yeah, all the positives are going to sound like they go together. They're not the same, but they're going to sound like they go together. And when you get all of them together, you know how I don't even like superhero movies, but I know who the Avengers are. I don't know all the individual ones, but I know the concept, okay? This is coming to me right now. It's almost like when you get all of the core aspects on the positive side, you are a one person Avenger team. Somebody catch that. Somebody just receive it. I don't know what I'm talking about right now. It's like you're a one person Avenger team. You got all these different parts working for you, conquering for you, all these things internally that are moving weight for you. It's like a one person Avenger team. It's so good. Oh my goodness. Ugh, ugh, ugh. Mm. This excites me. I love talking about this. I just love it. I just love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, let's go. An open minded person receives new information even if it's uncomfortable. The open minded person is very important, y'all. The open minded person does not, I cannot, I'm so sorry. I keep getting off of this. Look, the open minded person does not resist the truth or reality, regardless of how it feels. They do not receive truth as a threat to their ego that they have to protect themselves against. Rather, ooh, the ultimate open-minded person submits their ego to the truth. Understanding their ego gets in the way of accurate perception. In this lane of personal and relational development, I want to highlight this important nuance. A growth minded person that we just talked about before, number one, a growth minded versus fixed. A growth minded person can be really into growing in self, can be really into self development, but when challenged in relationship, they become defensive. Hold on. So you can be growth minded. So context matters. It might be you, or you might know somebody. It might even be the person you with. They all into self development, and they love to push that button. But in relationship, when they're challenged to grow, when they're challenged or confronted with issues, suddenly they're defensive. So you can have a growth mind with a defensive posture. That's not good. We want everything to come on the positive side, but I want to highlight that nuance. Just because you got positive in one area doesn't mean it's necessarily positive in another. That's important. So you might be growth minded in like with self development, but in relational development, you think that your way is the right way. You have a hard time. You have a hard time merging ideas with another person. Anyway, it's much easier to confront yourself by yourself, isn't it? I know. Listen, hello? I know. It's a lot easier to confront yourself by yourself. It's harder to do it in the presence of another person. A defensive person, hey Conrad, a defensive person resists feedback, truth, reality, suggestions. They reject the mirror because it challenges them to confront parts of themselves that, if they acknowledge, would make them feel bad and challenge their ability or willingness to change. When the truth comes against who they thought they were in their head, they crumble and run. These people are the absolute worst clients. These people are the absolute worst clients because they're not coachable. They want to be coddled. Hear me, you don't have to be a mean person to be defensive. Defensive isn't always this brazen, like, no, 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 no. You don't have to be a mean person. You don't have to be an aggressive person to be defensive. All you have to be is closed. All you have to be is closed. I'm gonna tell you this. You can have somebody. Let's say I'm doing a couple session. Okay. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole. We're gonna get into this more when we talk about relationship dynamics starting in 2 episodes from now. Um, let's say we have a couple in therapy and coaching. Sometimes somebody thinks, and this could be in your house. So, what I'm saying about in coaching, this can be in your house. Hear me. Just because somebody isn't raising their someone might think that because they're not raising their voice or they're not aggressively resisting, that they're not defensive. Let me say this for somebody right now. Then when you react to their defensiveness in a more aggressive way, they try to turn it on you. Now you the one out of control, but they don't want to acknowledge their defensiveness. So you don't have to be mean or aggressive to be defensive. You just have to be closed. You could be sitting in coaching. Thank you, Nelson. You could be sitting in coaching. You could be sitting across from your spouse or from your partner, being like, what's the issue? I'm not doing anything. I'm not saying anything. And but the issue is you're closed to suggestion, or you're closed to truth, or you're closed to you're closed to some kind of reality that needs to be confronted about yourself. And you think, I don't know who I'm just talking about one particular type of person right now. You think because you're not yelling or because you're not saying no, that you're not a problem, but you're a roadblock when you're closed. You're a roadblock when you're defensive. Okay, let's get back to the notes. A defensive person resists feedback, they resist truth, they resist reality, they resist suggestions. When truth comes against who they thought they were in their head or what they want or their ideas, they crumble and run. These people are the, okay, I already said that. These people are the absolute worst clients. Yeah. So look, ask yourself, when challenged or confronted, do I brace? So somebody just mentioned body language. Do I brace or do I relax? Can I relax? Do I receive feedback as information or accusation? Like, do I receive feedback as an attack when someone's just telling you something, but because it doesn't sound good about you, you receive it as an accusation or attack rather than feedback? When listening, am I looking for holes in what they're saying and how they're saying it, or am I listening to understand the message? When I hear something that really lands, do I shut it out or do I let it in? Like when you hear something that really lands, with something that's really confronting for you, do you turn the podcast off? Do you withdraw from therapy or coaching? Do you unfollow people because it's getting a little too close to home? When I hear something that needs to change, do I adjust or do I justify? Let's move on to responsible versus blaming. Responsible versus blaming. Is this all making sense, y'all? I'm just gonna lay it out. Let's talk about responsible versus blaming. We have two more after that. This is my longest episode in a while. It's the energy that was just too many things I had to say. Too many things I had to say. Responsible versus blaming, y'all. The responsible minded person seeks any and all ways they can own what happened, what's going on, and what will happen next. They look for every way they can affect control over the outcome. With negative, bad, unfortunate things or flat out mistakes that have already happened, they look for ways they affected those outcomes and make appropriate adjustments. So they don't justify, they make adjustments. We make appropriate adjustments to reduce the possibility of it happening in the future. That's a responsible minded person. The blaming person, and y'all, this is why I don't take a lot of what people say, what people who people tell me that they are. I don't take a lot of that seriously. I don't take a lot of that seriously. Now I'm gonna treat you respectfully. I'm not gonna take a lot of it seriously, but because I can see who you are. Everybody, well, a lot of people want to say that they're responsible. They say they're responsible, but do you actually behave in these ways? Do you actually behave like that? The blaming person looks for any and all ways someone or something else is responsible for what happened, what's going on, and what's coming down the pipeline. They look for ways to deflect to others, making them essentially helpless in their own lives. I consider you antisocial people because you're bad for society. Antisocial doesn't mean like you're this like troll that's just going through knocking stuff over. That's not antisocial, although that it would be antisocial behavior. Antisocial means like anti, like against society, against the growth of society. I consider people who blame rather than take responsibility. You're an antisocial person. You delay progress, you get in the way, you waste our time. You're the type of people that I suggest we separate from. Yeah, I suggest we separate from you. Now, when you want to get it together, we welcome you back into the fold, but we can't have you up close because you waste time. You make us the enemy every time we confront something that you got going on. You make everybody the enemy, everything a problem, and you have nothing to do with it. You are wasting our time. We have way too much to do. Especially, I work with all kinds of people, seriously, all kinds of people, race, gender, nationality, ethnicity, religion, all kinds of people. But I want to talk specifically to Black people for just this moment. We have too much to do. We got too much to damn do. Black people have too much to do to be playing with y'all, to be playing with people who's still playing around. We got too much to do. I suggest that we gotta cut, separate, and move along. Okay. Now everyone's not going to agree with that philosophy, but look, hey, you do what you want to do. You do you do what you want to do. Um, where am I at? All right, the blaming person, they rewrite stories in their head, writing themselves out of the perpetrator role. They write themselves out of the problematic bystander role, and they write themselves in as the innocent victim. These people are the absolute worst to be in relationships with. You people don't like when you say you people, but hey, it's a big group. Y'all, you people, this type of person, you are the worst types of people to be in a relationship with. Okay, these types of people do not take accountability for things, so they don't change problematic behaviors. You cannot change what you don't acknowledge is even a problem. So they don't change problematic behaviors, and they make you the enemy no matter what. Okay, this can change. These people can change. I've seen it change. I've helped people change up out of this. I'm telling you, this is a hard wall to break down. If this is your partner, bring them to me. Rest. Somebody receive this word, free yourself, rest. Let me do my job. You do your job, I'll do my job. If this is your partner, you got a blamer, you a responsible one, and they a blamer, and God help you if you both in the blaming category. You probably don't even like me. No, I don't even know how you would come across me. But look, if you with somebody that is that's the blamer, so another word for this is victim, rest. This is a very hard wall to break. I know you've tried, especially if you're the responsible type and you want to captain the ship and you think that, hey, if I could just keep exerting effort, if I keep showing, if I keep, and you think, I know you think that if you got the right idea and you think, hey, I could do it for the both of us for a while. Like I believe, rest, rest. These are, this is a tough group. I've done this for long enough to know this is a very tough group. I'm trying to think what I want to say next. They're challenging. They're tough. They're in denial. They're rough. You see how I say that? And don't let them be from Philly, Chicago, or New York. I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to have to say that. I did not want to have to say that. I did not want to have to say that. But don't let people that are on this negative side of the mindset, don't let them be from Chicago, Philly, or New York. It's only amplified. It's only amplified. I'm doing this long enough to know it's some geographical issue. You got some geographical issues too. Some about y'all that grow up in cold environments, like y'all got to really brace for the winter. Like y'all really, you know, right from Chicago. Then Chicago girls, woo! I've had to learn. I've learned, y'all. I'm from Virginia. Virginia, we not like that. In general, we not like that. Chris Brown had his little moment. Not good. Not good for Virginia. Not good. But that is out of the norm. It's out of the norm. Chicago, New York, Philly. Y'all tough in a different kind of way. I have to. So anyway, the someone being blaming or defensive or fixed. These kinds of people are the absolute worst. They're the worst clients. Okay, they're the worst clients, and they're the worst people to be in relationships with. Um, because they don't take accountability for things. They don't change problematic behaviors. You become the enemy no matter what. These people are, this is a tough pattern to break, especially if you are the one that's in relationship with them, because they see you as the enemy. They think they're that way because of you. So you the last one they trying to hear from. So like I said, if this is your partner, just bring them to me. Just bring them to me. Just drop them off. Just drop them off. Drop them off. I got it. I got it. I can take care of it. I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. That doesn't mean that they'll change. That takes their will. That takes their will. But you will be very clear on if they are able and willing to make the changes that they need in order for you to be in a relationship with them. That you will absolutely know. Just drop them off. Ask yourself, y'all, when you want to evaluate yourself, is the cause of my experience inside of me or outside of me? When something goes wrong, do I ask, how did I let this happen, or who did this to me? Or what did you do to me? Do I resent my situation, or do I influence my situation? Do I want resolution, or do I want to be right? A lot of people know the right answer to the test, but you have to be able to determine where you're really at. I don't have any issue with anybody that has any of these issues that I am outlining. My problem is when you're in denial about it, or when you try to perpetrate and present yourself as someone that you're not. And then we can't fix the problem. I don't have an issue with any of these. I work with people that have all these problems. I don't have any issue with it. The problem is when you deny that it's a problem, because we can't do anything with that. Okay. The responsible person owns and directs their life. The blaming person puts their hands up and they point at you. The responsible person gets a grip on their life and says, I will take the wheel. The blaming person puts their hands up, then points at you, talking about you crashed the car. You was on the driver's seat. What you talking about? It's your life. You make these you made these decisions. You did this. But there's no amount of, anyway. I know what that's like. I don't even want to go down. I'm not even going to name all the things that you got to deal with those types of people. It's tough. It's rough. It's gruff. They put their hands up, point at you. Abundance versus scarcity, y'all. We just got these last two. That's it. We just got these last two. Y'all all right? Y'all doing okay? Are y'all at work? Me too. All right. The abundance minded person orients to the world like there is more than enough. The scarcity minded person orients to the world like they're always running out. I think we've heard a lot about the abundance mindset like in the last 10 years, especially when the law of attraction became popular and new age spirituality really came on the scene. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time defining the terms at the basic level, but I will point this out. Here's the thing: when things look like they're running out, when things really are scarce, like money, like time, like love, that's when it's easiest, of course, to believe that it will only get worse. It's hard to imagine the turnaround. You have to shift into manual mode. You have to shift into manual mode and choose to see what you have. One of my favorite stories, y'all, we haven't talked about Bible whole time, right? I'm going to give you Bible. I'm going to give you Bible. One of my favorite stories in the Bible, y'all, is You can find it in 2 Kings chapter 4. It's the story of the woman and the oil. The prophet Elisha comes across a woman who needs money because the debtors are coming. Okay, they're coming to collect and she doesn't have it. She wants him to fix it. He redirects her because he sees what's already in her house. She was running out, but she had something in her house. They were jars that were ended up being filled with oil that she sold, was able to pay her debts. She had something in her house that made the way for her financial provision and for her to keep her family together. You have to see what you already have in your house, in your resources, in your mind, in your will, and see that you can create more than enough through what you are already equipped with. Ask yourself, when under pressure, do I focus on what's missing or what's available? Do I focus on what's missing or what's available? Am I waiting for something new or am I being resourceful with what I already have? Some of you, oh my goodness, I feel like I have to say this, y'all. I feel like I have to say this. I feel like I have to say this. Some of y'all are in relationships, marriages even, and thinking, once I get rid of this person, I know I'm talking to somebody. Once I get rid of this person, once I exit this, I'm going to get a new I'm going to get a new relationship. I'm going to get a fresh opportunity. And then I'm really going to be able to do it. I'm really going to do my big one in the next relationship. And you are not looking at what's already in your house to redeem, to restore, to replenish, to fix what you already have. Ask yourself, am I grateful or am I wanting? Ask yourself, when things are tight, do I seek or do I shrink? When things are tight, time, money, resources, whatever, when things are tight, love, affection, when things are tight, do I shrink? Do I withdraw myself or do I seek? Do I seek what I can do with this? Do I seek creative opportunities to be able to fix this, to restore this? The abundant mindset knows there's always more. The abundant mindset knows there is always more. And it keeps them moving forward. The scarce mindset fears there isn't enough and it keeps them stuck with a bad attitude. Keeps you stuck with a bad attitude. Right? We talked about this earlier. It's a principle. When you're on the positive, when you are on the positive side of this mindset, in the positive side of the core aspects, you get more positive. And when you're on the negative side, you get more negative. It's going to compound in either direction. Okay. Last one, y'all, and then we're out of here. Intentional versus conditioned. I really like this one for you this year. I really like this one for you this year. I really want you to pay attention to this one. The intentional person makes conscious choices that are aligned with their values and vision. Conscious choices aligned with values and vision. Conscious choices. Come on. Somebody, please write it down. Put it in the chat. Come on. I want somebody to get this year. I want somebody to get this year. I want somebody to get this year. And it's up to you whether you're going to get it and work it. The intentional person makes conscious choices aligned with values and vision. The conditioned person makes automatic choices based on what others are doing, what others told them to do, and I think laziness. In their personal or relational development, the conditioned person is on autopilot, lazy, even helpless, blind to new opportunities, narrow minded. Okay. Ask yourself, ask yourself, is what I'm doing aligned to me, aligned with me, or is it just easy for me? Am I choosing based on the wait a second? I feel like that's I feel like that's somebody's question for their relationship right now. Hold on, let me back up. Let me back up. I feel like that's somebody I feel like that's somebody's evaluation for their relationship right now. Hold on. Somebody dating right now. Dating right now. Am I choosing what's aligned with me or what's just easy for me? There it is, Nelson. Come on. Uh, Tell the truth and shame the devil. Bring it to light. Bring it to light. Bring it to light. Come on. Come on. Some people got comfortable. Oh, look. Nelson, I'm not gonna screenshot your comment just in case I wanna I don't want to get ahead of you in the conversation that it sounds like you might need to have. You do need to have. But listen, is this aligned with me, or is this easy, or is it just easy for me? Is this aligned with my values, my vision, or has it just become habitual and familiar? Okay. Okay. Nelson, look, Nelson said, please do. Well, screenshot has happened. It's going up. Good, 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 good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Okay. Ask yourself, am I choosing based on the vision I have for my life or the habits that have been running my life? Did I make this choice or did I slide into it? Talking about falling into love, falling into lust, falling into stuff, falling into stuff. Did I choose this or did I just end up here? The conditioned person, listen to me. The conditioned person can listen to 1,000 podcasts and get a bunch of insights, but nothing changes because they default to the same ways of thinking and being. There are people, I'm telling you, I do consults with these people who have listened to my podcast for 4 years, for 5 years, and they have the same problem that they had before. I've been saying that they've heard me say, get off the podcast. I tell people on my podcast, get off the podcast. You need to call me. We need to talk. Send the signal. I'm pulling up because you might be the type who's hearing a bunch of information and you get dopamine hits, you get turned on by the insights, but you're not integrating into your life. The conditioned person can listen to 1,000 podcasts and get a bunch of insights, but nothing changes because that type of person, I'm not saying all podcast, that type of person, because the intentional person, remember, same room, same message, people get different results. But the conditioned person, rather the intentional person, can listen to a bunch of messages with a lot of insights, but nothing changes because they default to the same way of thinking and being. They repeat cycles. Who is this? They repeat cycles, wondering why this keeps happening because they know better, but aren't doing better. The conditioned person is distracted, avoidant, and even irritated when challenged to become conscious of themselves and their decisions. The intentional person integrates information and sees real change. They don't succumb to the past. They create their future through conscious choice. That needs to be somebody's words for the somebody's phrase, somebody's term, somebody's words for the year. Conscious choice. The intentional person creates their future through conscious choice. We don't minimize the effect of our choices and the importance of responsibility or accountability. We magnify it because we know the more intentional we are about what we do and how we do it, the more control we have over what happens to us and the rewards we'll get in life. The intentional person magnifies responsibility and accountability because they know the more intentional you are about what you do and how you do it, the more control you have over what happens to you and the rewards you'll get in life. In dating, the conditioned person is frustrated and repetitive. They experience repetitive disappointment. The intentional person sees more and more signs, green lights that they're going in the right direction. They get closer and closer to the vision that they want, and eventually they win. And because they're also way more attractive. Thank you for dropping that in there. They're also way more attractive. Someone who chooses where they're going rather than just is dragged and everything's circumstantial. The people who make conscious choice and then make it happen, you are much more attractive, man and woman. And when you get a man and a woman that's both like that together, my goodness. So, y'all, that's mindset and the conclusion of the Renewal of the Mind series. Thanks for listening. If you like this content, please subscribe to it on YouTube, on Apple, on Spotify. If you really like it, do it on all platforms. Why not? It helps the content grow. Okay, so that's like you giving back to me. Okay, I appreciate it. Just the likes, the share is really helpful. Okay, I really appreciate it, especially when you take a moment to leave a review. You can do that on Apple, you can leave comments on YouTube, all that stuff. It's hard for anybody to get reviews, y'all. It's hard for all of us to get reviews. So for those of you who take the extra minute, it is truly appreciated. Y'all share this episode with someone who could benefit. Next week, we're doing my 2026 foresights for relationships. What I see, what I think is happening, potholes and opportunities. Y'all, I'll see you next time. I will see you next time. Thanks, Conrad. Really appreciate you. Always appreciate you, Conrad, for showing up and showing support. Thanks, everybody, for your comments. And I will see you next time. I hope you have a great weekend. Bye. Bye.